Yeah. Running Back Nation. What is good? It is your boy DJ Eastwood, Running Back Philly. No frauds. Not a single fraud on this panel. No fanboys. Not a fanboy on this panel either. No intros. That was not a 5-minute intro.
Oh, man.
4-point play. We back, baby.
Yes, sir.
We're bringing
Not
4-point
one,
play
not two,
back.
Not three, but four.
We're bringing back the 4-point play for the Sixers season. I figured we'd jump on here. I haven't talked to these guys in a minute. Get some opinions, find out how everybody else is feeling. I know you all know how I'm feeling. Everybody, all the subscribers, everybody that watches the show is tired of me talking about what I expect this season. So before the season starts, I figured I'd bring these guys on here and hear what's going on in their minds and from their perspective. What's going on, man? We got Tone to Shields, we got Jay the Bull, we got Unk Dove. What's up, Tone? How you doing, man? Tone's Chalk It Up Sports Philly on YouTube and Jacob Media Sports.
Yeah, man, staying busy. First things first, as always, appreciate you fellas. Always good to get back in the fold with you guys, and just life's good. Working hard, man. The sports world, Philly sports right now is on fire. Phillies is doing great. They won their game tonight, 1-0 lead in the divisional round.
Shout out.
Eagles doing anything 5-0. Let's see if they can hold it up against Sunday against these Dallas Cowboys. And these Sixers, man, they look good. Maxey looking spectacular, fellas. I'm gonna be honest.
Absolutely. We're going 4 for 4 this year, man. I don't know anything about the Flyers.
I was telling people, I said, look, if we can, it's a shot in the dark, right? But let these Phillies get to the NLCS. Let these Eagles find a way to get to the NFC Championship or the Super Bowl. Let these Sixers find a way to get to the East Conference Finals, yo. Something feels different in the air about this city right now. I'm telling you right now, something feels different.
A lot.
It does.
I agree with you.
I mean, I like that we have a lot of A's in the basket. Some got to come out, like something.
Man, and we can get one chip out of these teams, 1 out of 3, 4. I'm good with that.
We got we got 4 good teams. We should be able to get 1 ring for sure.
For sure.
The law of averages, right? The law of averages.
The Sixers and the Eagles, man, they got great chances. That's the crazy part. It's been a while since they both had a great chance.
Many years where all 4 teams are bad. So it feels, it feels nice.
It's about right.
Yeah, it feels nice to be up here and have, some good teams that are on top, that are in the top 10 in the power rankings. Many years where our teams are not in those lists of the best teams. So, yeah, I agree with you. Let's just go right around and start on what your main opinion is with the Sixers, man. What they did this offseason, how you feel about going into the season, because they did a lot of things this offseason. The trade that happened midway through last season was a big thing, and then obviously as Sixers fans, we were like, let's go compete right away. But no team trades for somebody. No team makes that big of a move mid-season and really has enough chemistry and time together to get things done. So we kind of in the back of our minds knew that this year was the year that all of that would come together, and then Daryl Morey went out and got all the guys that he got. The Philadelphia Rockets, some people are saying, except for Trevelyan Queen, he got cut, but he was also a Philadelphia Rocket. Tony, you want to start, man? Just give me what you think of this team in general and kind of your general expectations, man.
Yeah, what I'm noticing right away is the fact that they're listening to their stars. They paid attention to what Joel Embiid said, once everything ended, and they realized that they needed to get tougher. They needed to get guys that can help them have better defense on the perimeter. They needed guys that can help them stretch the floor, and they can also put the ball on the floor and just create for other people. So that's when guys like D'Anthony Melton comes in, and then you got 2 guys that are really physical guys that that make sure that they're there with Montrezl Harrell and PJ Tucker, and then PJ Tucker just gives you that nice 3-and-D piece, a guy that can stretch the floor, damn near flawless from the corner 3. That's his bread and butter. And I'm really curious to see how Doc Rivers handles these new pieces. Joel Embiid has had a very quiet summer, and I kind of like that. He hasn't really said too much. He's maturing. He's mature. Joel Embiid is a grown man. You know what I mean? Like I remember I was seeing him early on in his career, a guy that was real happy-go-lucky, a guy that did a lot of talking, you know, just an emotional guy, I guess you'll say.
Wasn't at no
And
meat.
now-
He wasn't at no meat concerts this summer, is what you're saying. He wasn't on
wasn't
stage.
it? Wasn't it?
Actually, no, he was at that party though.
Oh yeah,
He was at the all-white party.
Everyone was there.
What's his name? Ruben.
Yeah, Michael Rubin. Yeah.
Michael Rubin. He was there.
Oh yeah, PJ Tucker was there too.
Yeah, they were all partying that day.
You know what's so funny about that, right? You know, people say PJ Tucker was one of the flyest dudes there, right? But you know, he ain't making the money that everybody making. So that's going to tell you that, you know, money don't make the fit. You dig what I'm saying? It's all it's all about how you put it together, right? But overall, man, I'm just happy that they're listening to their stars. They know for a fact they need to get tougher. You bring in Montrezl Harrell, PJ Tucker. Oh yeah, your team got tougher for a fact. You know what I mean? So it's going to be really interesting to see how this thing pans out in the long term. I think the pieces fit. That's the most important thing. Everyone knows their role. And I think it was important also for Tobias Harris. I think he spoke earlier in the offseason saying that it took him a while to accept where he was on his team. And, you know, James Harden been taking care of his body. You know, it's a lot to look forward to, you guys. A lot.
I agree, man. I couldn't agree more, man. I couldn't agree more. Jay, what you think?
Man, so watching the Sixers this summer was pretty interesting, especially the James Harden watch. I know everybody was super excited to see how serious he was taking his offseason, you know, losing that amount of weight and, you know, staying focused, staying in the gym.
100 pounds.
100 pounds, which is crazy. I mean,
no, that's what he said. No, he's joking. No, he's
joking.
joking. He was joking.
100 pounds is a lot.
He said 100 pounds. He said, tweet that. 100 pounds. Tweet that.
I think he was joking, to be honest. I don't think he's like 100 pounds. Like, no, but I mean, he looked good. He looked better physically than he does on the court. But that's cool because I mean, honestly, we just want James, like we said, to just be efficient. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't really looking for him to, like, everybody keep making it sound like that's what we want, that we want James Harden from the Rockets. That's not what we want. I mean, it's not even what we need. We have pieces around him where he doesn't need to be that person anymore. But we do need to be efficient. We do need him to have stamina. And I think I think both of those things look up. I mean, he lost the weight. Like I said earlier, he's shooting the three a little better. I mean, I know it's preseason games, but I mean, it should carry over. And as far as the pieces we added, I mean, nothing too impressive, but I mean, if it flushes, I like how it flushes out the team better. Like, we just look a lot less empty than we did last year. You know what I'm saying? One of the announcers on the last game against the Cavs, he said we got a lot of guys that could put the ball in the basket, and that's true. We do have that now. So, I mean, I'm just looking forward to it. I mean, it definitely look good, but it's crazy because it's even with the whole summer, my two concerns are still the main concerns going in, which is how is Doc Rivers going to coach, and how is James Harden going to look? Everything else looks great though. Maxey looks great. I even have more faith in Tobias. If it wasn't for Tobias having such a strong postseason, I'd probably be a little more disappointed that he's still here. But he finished the year strong. So I'm going to give it to him and just be like, okay, keep it going, bro. So we'll see.
Facts, man. Facts. Big facts. Dove, what's up? How you feeling? How you feeling about the Sixers?
I'm loving it. I'm loving the way we look. I love the additions. I love DeAndre Melton on the team. I love the big fella Montrezl Harrell. I was hyped when we got him.
Yeah, me too.
It took me a while to really give in to the PJ Tucker move because of the money. And I just felt like, damn, $33 million, 3 years, that's a little steep. But when I really look at it, I think he's going to add a lot to the team. Toughness. Nobody's going to fuck with Embiid this year. Him and Harrell together, dominant on defense, I think. Well, Harrell's not a great defender, but he can do some stuff. Still got Paul Reed. He's looking like he's been in the gym all summer. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I like Melton. Maxey just plays basketball all day, every day. It's ridiculous. There's something wrong with him. Like, he just plays. So I like our starting lineup. We got Maxey, Harden, Tobias is moving back to the three, which he hasn't done in years. PJ Tucker, stretch four, whatever you want to call it. Stretch little four. We got the big fella down low. He even looked lean in his shape. I haven't seen him all summer, so guess he's been in daddy mode and lifting weights. I don't know. Glad he's been in the gym, but I like our chances, man. I did say a few things early on before the season even started, but I like our chances this year. I like the direction. We just need Doc to coach the way he's supposed to coach. Like, be a coach.
Concern, man.
Call plays, hold everybody accountable. We need James Harden to post up more this year. Back to the basket, he's too strong, so he can post up and make stuff happen off of that. You already got the pick and roll. Him and Joel going to run that more and more. And mid-range, if we got mid-range shooting, we got three, we can score at every level. I think we got enough players that can score at every level where we can be, dominant throughout the season. If somebody get injured, somebody have to sit out games, we got that now. So we got Reed and we got Montrez to play the 5 when Embiid's out, or, he take his couple games. So I just look down the whole roster. We're good. We still got guys like Niang from last year. We still got Shake. Shake look like he's in shape. He's ready to go. I think everybody's in a better headspace now that Ben Simmons is going too. So
yeah, that's a really good point.
I like how we look. Everybody's in it together. Look like a team.
Yeah, they all had to act like it didn't matter. They all had to act like they weren't, thinking about it. But everybody was bothered by that, man. They're like, I got to see this guy. I got to see, you're not on the front lines and one of your soldiers decides to not show up and then you got to go hang out with him later. Like, bro, where were you? When we were getting shot at. So that's how they felt about it, and it did drag down the morale. And it's good that he's out of here. It's good that he's airballing warm up jumpers somewhere else.
Yo, you know what's so funny about that? And it's something else I wanted to pick your brain about too. But you know what's so funny about that in particular that you said is that the Brooklyn Nets fans really believe that he's gonna start shooting. It's almost like they don't understand what this is literally like deja vu. Time I feel like I'm in a Twilight Zone every time I watch Ben Simmons.
I think it's the definition of ludicrous.
The definition of insanity, right?
Insanity.
It's up, yo, Jay, you spot on because they really think he's going to be a different person because the jersey black now. Yeah, it's strange to me. You know what I mean?
I can't I laugh at it, but they're kind of falling victim to it because they have to. Because nobody wants to go into a season like, oh, we're screwed. The only people that keep it that real are
Philly fans.
Philly fans do definitely keep it that real. So I do honestly think Nets fans are definitely a little bit more fair weather. They haven't been around for. It's not the franchise hasn't been around that long or hasn't been in Brooklyn that long or whatever.
Yeah.
People are Knicks fans over there. But it's like that 80-year-old grandpa that's in the living room that's like, oh, this guy's gonna ruin it, and everyone's like, why are you so grumpy all the time? And then he's right at the end. You know what I mean?
Listen to your elders.
They didn't watch him. They didn't watch him for 5 years, and it is funny. They're saying the same thing now that we were saying 5 years ago.
But I also say this too. I think it's also kind of like weird with Ben because it's like every time you say it too, you also think it's at the point where he has to, and I think that's what they think. They're like, oh no, but he has to now. Like he's been talked about too much, so he has to shoot now, right? But no, I'm getting to the point.
I'm getting to the point where I'm watching him now, and I'm like, wait a minute, there's actually something going on. So now I'm starting to feel bad. Me of all people. I'm starting to be like, okay, there's actually an issue up here if this guy's coming out here in year 6 and is still doing this. So, somebody DM'd me just a couple minutes ago and was like, please react to the Ben Simmons airball. And I was like, nah.
That's what I feel bad about. That's what I feel bad about. I feel bad that every shot is under a microscope with this kid now, bro. It's like, come on, I'm pretty sure there's plenty of people that airball doing warm-ups, but nothing's going to hit like Ben Simmons airballing.
It's the fact that he can't handle the criticism, and now the criticism just keeps mounting higher. He's going to quit. He's going to stop playing. He's going to retire.
Yeah, it's building up. You know what it remind me of, and he was able to get from underneath it because I think his dad finally shut up. It's the Lonzo Ball thing.
Yeah.
Like when everybody just riding Lonzo on everything, it took his dad to shut up. It took him to get out of LA for everything to quiet down. And I think that's what Ben needs. He's probably never going to really be good or really be able to shoot until everybody stops talking about it. And at this point, everybody still is.
Back in the day, he could have got away with it, but social media, man, it's never going to end for him at this point. If you don't have thick skin and if you don't have thick skin and you play like that, you're I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It just ain't gonna go.
Here's the funny thing about it, right? I mean, he is 6'10", and he is pretty much a power forward, right? So like it's kind of like if he would have just been a little bit more transparent or leaned into the fact that, like, look, I'll take him, but I just won't make him. Like convince us or show us that, you know what, we don't want him doing that. You know what I'm saying? It's the fact that you wouldn't like you wouldn't go out on a limb to take the shots. Like you get what I'm saying? It's like right. let us be the ones to tell you
because
that.
Also that transparency will stop making it such a topic for everybody else.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So that actually like get ahead of it. It's kind of like when you fall and you laugh with them instead of just being mad about it, because everybody's gonna laugh harder. So just laugh with them and like, you know, like act like it's not a big deal. And I think it'll become not a big deal to everyone else.
Yeah. Or if you real quick, Devin, I'll let you go. Or if like let's say you're going on runs, you know, with the homies, like y'all balling, and then you got that friend that like, you know what, you can't play defense, but you shoot. We're gonna let you shoot all day, and we're gonna let you guard the weakest person. Like, let us, but the only reason you know that is because he tried to guard everybody. He just can't do it, right? Let us be the ones to tell you what you can't do. Like, don't be like,
no, seriously, no, yeah. All I wanted to say was, why did he even take that shot? Like every time I see him, like, why are you even shooting that? Like,
you knew. Where was that? Where were they at? Where were they at? Rucker Park or something?
It looked like it. The I don't think it was ugly. It was definitely outside though. It was
everything was ugly about it. Like it just didn't even leave his hand right. It's just like, why are you
just gotta make sure no cameras are around when you practicing. Just like get some privacy, bro. Like I don't know. Shit is weird. It was just our Sixers.
It was
man.
just
enough Ben Simmons talk.
Eastwood, go ahead.
It was just the fact that he played the game like he's a ball handler and stuff. So he never really played the game like a power forward or a center. So we talked ourselves into this. Like if we get him to shoot, he'll be Magic Johnson 2.0. He'll be a 6'10" LeBron James. And then we're like, wait, he's never going to shoot, but he doesn't even play the game like Montrezl Harrell plays the game. You know, he can't even really get buckets down there under the rim. So it's like we got to the point where it's like, wait a minute, what can he actually do?
What can he do? They want him to be a facilitator, but who needs a 6'10" facilitator? Like
he has an old school layup package. Every time he gets in the room, he tried this okie dokie hook shot. It's terrible. He tried it on us last week.
1976 right-handed hook, bro.
I'm so happy we didn't take that game, and that's why that's how I know this team is over him. I'm happy we didn't take that game seriously. We didn't even play Embiid. We didn't play anybody, and we still won. I'm happy that because I don't even want this to be a rivalry, man. I'm over the kid.
It will be though. It will be.
It probably still will be.
No, I feel like that too, and that I kind of disappoint. I'm disappointed myself now that I don't want it, because for years I wanted this to happen, and now I'm like, eh. Yeah. Now I'm like, I don't care. Like, you know.
Yeah. But you know, a point aside from Ben Simmons, right? You know, just getting back to our guys. You know what I love about some of the moves we made? We brought in guys to take pressure off of Embiid on the defensive end. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, there was times where, there was strides, there was lengths of time where we expected Embiid to go all out on offense and go all out on defense. Mm-hmm. And he's 7 feet tall, 270 pounds. Like, kind of got to be realistic about it. He getting up there, and we don't want him to put his body in harm's way. He's more valuable on the offensive end than the defensive end. Then you bring in guys like bring in a guy like PJ Tucker who can guard 1 through 5. You bring in a guy like Montrezl Harrell who can guard, you know, maybe 3 through 5. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the 3 through 5, but for sure 4 through 5. You get what I'm saying? So, like, you had those two guys that instantly take pressure off him from a defensive end. Like, you're gonna have those games where you're telling PJ Tucker, because I'm pretty sure he's gonna start, right? And I think so. Like you're gonna have those games where you say, "Hey, PJ Tucker, you know, I want you to guard Giannis." You dig what I'm saying? And then Joel Embiid is able to just cook whoever, you know what I'm saying, and or guard whoever he's supposed to guard. Like, you know, I'm pretty sure they're gonna have Giannis on Joel Embiid, but you know, PJ Tucker guarding Giannis, that really helps. And I just think, you know, PJ Tucker, he's such a ferocious defender. He's such a ferocious guy. He's just the moves were specifically made to help Joel Embiid and take pressure off of him on the defensive end. You can clearly see it, and also space the floor out. You know, you kind of kill two birds with one stone with the moves. So, I'm curious to hear your thoughts about that, just like on the defensive end, and you know what those guys can, you know, bring to the table, man.
I mean, I definitely that's why I like the approach that we did with the offseason. It wasn't like add another superstar. Let's get another. It was like, let's just add some pieces around the team we have that we are weak at. And you, I mean, you said it best. I'm not gonna repeat exactly what you said, but you said it best. We added where we needed pieces, and I think it's going to work. Yeah, I think it's going to work tremendously. I just think, again, when it comes down to the end of games, and when it comes down to putting points on the board, that Embiid and Harden are going to be able to get it done and be that clutch gene that we need. We need that. We're going to need that, especially in them hard, gritty. You know, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but we know what the playoffs are like. You know, let's just look at this. Let's look at it this way. We got months of watching basketball that we know that this team is going to dominate in. We're going to be top 2, top 3 seed for sure. But when we get into those playoffs, that's when basketball starts for real. And when I look up there, I still see, are we going to be able to get it done against whoever we get it done against? And I do think we have approved to be able to do that. Doc Rivers, Harden, not as much Embiid, but Doc Rivers, Harden, Embiid, please just be on y'all shit. If they're on their shit, I don't think anybody's stopping us. Let's just keep it 100.
Question. So when it comes to like Embiid games and minutes and stuff like that, you think he should not go for? I don't want to say that he played just to be the MVP last year, but it did become like it's kind of hard. Yeah, it's kind of hard when it becomes an emphasis like you number 2 or 1 in the race. So it's like, yo, I got to get this joint. So you think he should not focus on that, or I don't even know how to ask it because it's like
I think I know what you mean.
To go hard, but it's like, you think he should like just play, or so he still try to achieve team and personal? You think he can do both?
I think if professional athletes could control that, I would enjoy this year Embiid not focusing on trying to be the best player in the world and just, or numbers wise, or you know, lead the league in scoring or anything like that. Yeah, just focus on getting things done when you need to get them done. And really taking care of yourself throughout the season. Not that really his injuries have anything to do with how much he plays during the season. He just randomly gets elbowed in the face. He just randomly tears the ligament in his thumb.
That's a good point. It don't even be wear and tear. It just be like, just don't put him in the game. So right. A crazy one.
This past season, like, he didn't slow down because of how much he played during the season. You know, he slowed down because he got, you know, had a broken face and then got smacked in the face. People forget that in that Miami series, he got smacked in the mask, and that's when his whole thing changed, when he got hit in the face at half court and was laying there on the ground, because I don't think that feels too good when you got an orbital fracture and you're wearing a mask over it and stuff.
Yeah,
so
that's a fact.
For sure.
The injuries that he's
headaches.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. The injuries that he's been getting aren't very preventable. Like, we just have to hope it doesn't happen. I don't know what else to say.
Random.
Yeah, for sure. It's you know,
that face slap was random.
You bring up a good point, Dove, because you know, Joel Embiid, he's definitely been gunning for the MVP these past couple seasons, and when you try so hard for something, you kind of lose sight of the larger goal. I know he's a professional; he's always going to say the right things in front of the camera.
Right.
But he wanted the MVP really, really badly, and sometimes when you strap yourself or you handcuff yourself to something like that, it's kind of hard for you to see clearly. You kind of play with a narrow view, and you're more focused on being dominant rather than probably making a better basketball play, or you know, you feel like you have to be the one to make the shot or pick up the best defender. Like you feel you play a way that's a little bit more selfishly. And I'm not calling Joel Embiid a selfish player at all. I actually think he's not selfish in any way. But when you're openly gunning for the MVP, you know, it alters the way you approach the game. It alters the way you approach winning at the end of the day. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, he mentioned sometime in the offseason that he's over it. He's over it, basically, right? And you know, I think that's going to allow him to play free a lot, because like just think about it. Like when you think so hard about the result, it's so hard for you to really focus on the process. No pun intended. And you know, now I think this go around, he is unequivocally focused on team success, and not really worrying about the MVP.
Yeah, and I think
I don't. Oh, go my bad.
No, go ahead, Jay. Go ahead.
I just real quick to say that even though that's true, I don't like that people thought that after he lost that he lost motivation. I don't think that was true at all.
Oh no, yeah, I don't think that.
Just
I think
speak to the people that
he wanted to prove it.
I think it messed with his mental though.
It did.
I agree with that part. It was kind of demoralizing, right? That's how you describe it a little bit.
I think
like
also
the year before. Oh man.
I think also
the year before.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, the year before he almost got it. The year before with the Joker, same situation. They said he didn't play enough games. The next year he plays enough games and he straight dominates all year. He still doesn't get it. So I think that played into even like the playoffs. I think he could have went a little harder. Boy, I think that he just was, like you said, demoralized, man.
When did they announce it again? Like, when was it before
like
the second round? Or
it
the
was
first
right before the second round, I believe.
Was it?
I think it was.
Were they still actively playing the Raptors? Like were they still in that series, or were they?
And they might have been playing the Heat.
Yeah, I think they were playing Miami. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the second round, I believe.
Yeah, I really, I don't know if that affected him. If it did, then hopefully those kind of things don't affect him. But I really think he's just not one to make excuses. And if I had to guess what the excuse was, I really think he was, like you said, that caused headaches. Like, I think he probably had blurry vision. I think he probably had, there's a whole bunch of things going on with that injury that he tried to play through and just at the end of the day ended up not being able to really play through it. And that really came out on the court looking like, oh, why is he not trying? Why is he not getting down low? Why is he not doing this? And I really think that affected him more than he wanted to admit, because I don't think he ever really wants to make excuses at the end of the day.
Yeah, and like that kind of injury, like your orbital is all this, right? So it's like your sinuses is all connected in here. So you fracture your orbital, you never know what nerves or what passageways got hit, and maybe he dealing with, like you said, blurry vision, eyes probably watering more than usual, sinuses probably all jacked up, nose probably stuck. It's all this is connected. So yeah, man, that's a good point, Eastwood.
Yeah, for sure. Tone, you said you mentioned that adding PJ Tucker and the guys we added defensively to give Embiid breaks on the defensive end, because last year we were not a good perimeter defensive team. We were not a good transition defense team. We were not a good rebounding team. I mean, it was really top heavy. Outside of Embiid, the mid-season trade for Harden and Tyrese Maxey, the rest of the roster is now at the end of our bench for what the reasons I was saying last year. These guys just are not high NBA players. George Niang, Furkan Korkmaz. I don't know how you guys feel about Shake Milton, but I just never. I mean, second guard off the bench, sure, I'm fine with it, but these weren't guys I feel like that were really gonna that were really high enough level of like NBA players to help enough in the playoffs, and not just defensively, offensively. That's really what happened. What I think happened last season with our team offensively is that once they saw the weakness that Joel Embiid was playing with, they started to attack. They started to throw the kitchen sink at him. Harden folded, shot 2 shots in the second half. We basically thought we traded for a 6'5" Ben Simmons at that point. We're like, what the hell? We got the same thing out of you, so hopefully that's different this season. And Maxey didn't have that confidence that I'm seeing right now when the games mattered the most. And he's very young. I'm not blaming him at all for it. I'm still blown away that he's even doing what he's doing at 21 years old. So yeah, I guess that transitioned me right into Maxey, because
we gotta talk Maxey.
Because it was that Harden wasn't in shape, was still dealing with the hamstring maybe, and Maxey was just at a level where he was really good, but when the game mattered the most, he was deferring to other players and trying to find Harden and trying to find Embiid. It wasn't really putting anything on his own shoulders in those playoff games when things got intense. I think right now he looks like his thing that he really looked at this summer was, okay, I added a 3-point shot to my game. I was already the fastest guy coming out of a draft, might be one of the quickest to get to the basket in the league, one of top 2 or 3, might be one of the best finishers at the rim for his size, aside from Kyrie Irving and Damian Lillard. So now I just need to get that confidence that I am one of the I'm a part of this big 3. I'm important. I'm not a side guy. I'm not a role player. I'm here now. And these first couple preseason games, that's exactly what I'm getting from it. And on top of that, I want to ask you guys, do you think that mentality or the way he comes out firing in these preseason games will continue when the regular season starts? Or is it more so, the preseason and Embiid's not in there and, maybe – I don't know if Doc's in control of how many times he shoots the ball or anything like that either. There's a lot of moving parts, but yeah, give me your thoughts on Maxey and what you think, will he keep this up when the season starts? Because if he does, I think you're right that Harden doesn't even have to be elite. Harden could basically be a a veteran facilitator, Chris Paul level player.
Yeah. So you bring up a very interesting point because Tyrese Maxey entering year 3, and he's gotten exponentially better every single year. He's taken his game to another level. He's doubled his scoring output. He's doubled everything in every category damn near, and he's gotten more efficient. He's gotten more confident every single year. You know, he's just gotten better. And you know, I mentioned this to you guys off air. I think what the Sixers should do, I think they should allow Maxey to cook early. I think they should ride the young hand, ride the young guy. You know what I'm saying? James Harden, at the end of the day, he's over the age of 30. He's never going to be the guy in Houston. Those days are gone, in my humble opinion. I think what needs to happen, Harden still get your 18, 20 or whatever, coast through the season. Because at the end of the day, let's be honest, seeding doesn't really matter. It's the NBA. It's the NBA. Like seeding is not as valuable as everybody's
schedule. So so close and the wins.
Like in the NFL, seeding is more valuable. Mm-hmm. But like in the NBA, if you're a top 4, top 5 seed, all you got to do is get into the dance. Other than that, everybody else is food. So like my thing is, with Maxey, if I'm them, I'm letting Maxey cook all season long, or at least until maybe the third quarter of the season, maybe to the, when they get past, 40 or 50 games or whatever, and then Harden start to, up his pace a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Because it's going to be important for Harden to have his legs in the long term. You know what I'm saying? Maxey's going to always have his legs. He's a young guy. He's going to always have his legs. But I want to get Maxey's confidence as high as I possibly can. I want him to believe that he can score on any and every team, on any and every player, because I believe outside of Joel Embiid, outside of James Harden, I believe Maxey is the X factor. I believe Maxey can be the guy that, honestly, I think Maxey can be the guy that can take the game-winning shot. I believe that. I firmly believe that. What say you guys?
Want to go? I go? Okay. Man, I mean, I'm definitely I'm not against it. I'm definitely not. I think that Maxey is weird because he's improved so often. You don't want to kind of like he improves so quickly. You don't want to put unfair pressure on him. This is season 3, right? For Maxey?
Yeah.
So this is officially, so to me, this is officially where he's a veteran. So we're going to expect a up level, because we're going to expect certain things now. You're not a rookie anymore. You know what I'm saying? But I don't. About what you said about letting him cook early, that's not a bad idea, because that's also a way to get out all of the inexperience too. So that way, by the end of the season, he's been through pretty much every team and predicament. So I definitely understand that, but I also don't want to put too much on his shoulders, because the leaders still have to be leaders. I don't really see I can't think of too many third-year guys who are able to lead their team in those crucial moments that you're saying. But importantly, anyway, because maybe on a bad team where it doesn't really matter, they could be that guy to take that shot. But it's like, all right, we're on the Sixers and we're deep in the playoffs. Are you really going to feel comfortable putting the ball in Tyrese Maxey's hands over your star, and Embiid and Harden? I mean, it's just kind of like, I don't know.
Situationally, of course. I'm not saying every situation, right?
No, I get you. But
it got to make sense, right?
So it does. No, I'm not me personally, not against that.
Right, right. I get you. You thinking like,
yeah,
in the grand scheme of things. I got
in the grand scheme of things, and also who our coaches. Like, let's be honest. Based on who our coach is, I don't think he's capable of doing making those type of decisions.
For example, when you look at the Warriors, you got Steph Curry, greatest shooter ever.
Right.
I know where you're going, Dove. I know where you're going.
MVP.
I know where you're going, Dove.
Contender here. But then you got Jordan Poole,
that man bad, bro. That boy bad.
Although Curry is the man, sometimes Poole be saving him. Like, I watched that shit. Yeah. Poole was in his bag of tricks. And you talking about Curry is here, you know what I'm saying, as far as the NBA stature. So, I mean, in the sense where you compare Maxey to Poole, they're on the same level, I think. It's going to be games in the playoffs, especially like where we're going to have to rely on him because he has the youth. So times when Harden and the beat might be tired, Maxey going to be still full of energy. You know what I'm saying?
Like, so we are officially making Maxey a third option, not Tobias, right?
Nobody. He was a third option last year.
That's what I'm saying. I'm getting closer to second option right now.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm there with it.
I'm not mad at it.
Eastwood, I'm there with it. I believe this young boy could take a step, a leap. I believe it. Like the way he plays. Bro, his packages. Like his layup package is crazy. Like his confidence is like his belief. Like I'm not gonna lie. Whenever he got the ball and he going to the rim, I firmly believe he gonna make it, bro. Like I firmly believe it. Like he just got this. He crafty too, dog.
He did something last night that he did a reverse on with the right hand right into the court. I'm just like, come on, man.
He might be one of the best young finishers at the rim. Like that's just to be honest. I wanted to say it last year, but I didn't want to speak too soon. And then somebody like, no, it's like 5 other players. So
I'm with you on that.
I'm confident with it now. Yeah, because he's amazing around the rim, and he could jump so late and still make it. Like it don't even have to be like. It'd be crazy, bro. I can't even explain it.
I say Kyrie Irving all the time when I talk about his finishing ability because it's that player that's 6'3", and it's that player that doesn't play above the rim, so he has to get super creative to get around the trees, to get around the trenches and finish that thing, and that's how Kyrie does it. Kyrie, I think he's the best finisher around the rim for somebody that doesn't dunk the ball that I've ever seen in my life. He almost doesn't miss. Left hand, right hand, high off the glass, English here. I mean, it's crazy. And that's who Maxey reminds me of when he gets to the rim because it's just very creative the way that he gets the ball on the glass.
Very.
Around people, through people,
the only difference is that Kyrie gets to the basket with finesse and Maxey get there with speed, just pure.
Yeah. I see what you mean.
Exactly.
I see what you mean. Yeah, like Kyrie, he break you down.
To get to the basket.
What I love about Maxey though, he don't spend too much time he don't waste energy. He don't waste energy. He don't waste energy dancing. He's at his best in transition. He's at his best in transition. But like, I'm be honest with you. Like I'm in the mindset of. Whenever he touched the rock, I want him to look to score. I'll be honest. I don't want him thinking about being.
I know why we're all thinking like this too. I know why we're all thinking.
I want to take pressure off Harden. You dig what I'm saying? Like I want people. I want Harden to be because like you know what I want? I want Brooklyn James Harden that first year. That's what I want. Because he can get his bucket because he was able to get any bucket he wanted, but he was letting KD and Kyrie cook and he was comfortable with that. He was still averaging over 20 points, like 10, 11 assists, like 6 rebounds. Like Harden is always going to play Harden's game, but I'm telling you, I really believe if this team, if Harden, if the OGs want to win the war of attrition, as they say in football. You got to let these young guys cook. You got to get these young guys minutes. So by the time you get to the playoffs, you got strong depth pieces that got experience. That was the problem last year. We didn't play no young guys at all last year. And then by the time it's playoff time, you need depth and you probably dealing with injuries or whatever it may be. These young guys don't know what to do. You got to get these young guys cooking. You got to get the minutes. Got to get their confidence.
That's Doc. Yep.
Yeah, that's go back to coaching again.
That is Doc. Yep. That is Doc. So
back glass head.
Speaking of James Harden, that's one of the main topics I had on this because I want to know how everybody feels about James Harden because this offseason, all the workout videos, all the photos of him, look how he looks. His body looks like closer to what it looked when he was in Houston, like he's looking like Slim Harden. He was quoted himself basically saying, I was embarrassed last season. That's not who I am, and I want to get back to that elite level that I know I can be at. So me personally, I kind of fell for it a little more where I was like, yo, we're about to get better than the Brooklyn version of James Harden. We're about to get the ISO quick dribble at the top, make people look stupid, make people fall over. Harden that really is unguardable one-on-one, and that's going to make our team untouchable. And then these preseason games come around, and I'm still on the fence here because I don't know if it's just
the same, really.
I don't know if it's just the fact that James Harden doesn't care about a preseason game, or
it could be that.
should I really assess it yet? I told people, people are every day are in the chat now. James Harden's washed. He's washed. He looks the same as last year, whatever. And I'm like, listen, it was football Sunday yesterday, the day before the last preseason game. I'm telling you right now, he was in a football stadium with Lil Baby and Meek Mill or something. Like he's hungover. It's a preseason game. It's probably a little hungover. He doesn't care that much about a preseason game.
The Kevin Hart show and everything. He's out. He's still outside.
I do think he looks a little bouncier. He looks a little quicker, and he had a couple finishes at the rim so far in the preseason that he had more elevation. He looks like he has more elevation on his shot. So I'm now back to like towards in the middle where I think we're going to get like a Brooklyn level of James Harden, but I definitely think he's going to look quicker and better than last season. But I don't know if I would expect him to be elite like he said he's going to be.
Yeah, the only person that think that is James. I think, and that's good. It's good to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, who is, So it's good that he believe in that, but man, definitely not. Especially, and here's the thing. It might just be preseasons, but eye test is still there. Like you could tell, man. It's just like, I don't know, unless he doesn't care that much, that he shouldn't be playing at all. But I think we're seeing the same guy out there. I don't think. So it's like, what, he gonna flip a switch when game one hits? I don't know. Like I said, the one positive I did see is that he may be a lot more efficient. That three was looking very shaky last season.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, it looks a lot cleaner this season. And that's all I'm pretty much expecting. I'm expecting a cleaner, more efficient Harden.
I think
anything else would be extra, cherry on top. Anything else?
I just don't want him to feel like he got to have a Superman cape on every day. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I don't want. I don't want him to feel like he got to do everything. He got to be the scorer. You got Maxey for that. Let the young gun cook. We're gonna be all right.
I just think he should change his game a little bit. I hope he does. I just think he should focus more on less isolation, more mid-range and post. Like you seen like people like Kobe and Mike when they got old.
The mid-range.
That's a good point, Dub. I ain't thinking about
old.
that.
He's in that same size. He never really posted up his whole career.
We saw him working on it in the summer, I think. I seen a couple of mid-range videos. I really would like. I think he would really thrive with that.
Everybody in the league talking about how strong he is. So he has the strength. He has the court vision. You just got to post up more, and you can open up the floor a little bit more with that. And then the mid-range is just like Chris Paul, guys like that, they have perfected the mid-range.
Oh, yeah.
You see that what that's done for Chris Paul and why he lasted so long in the league.
It's extended his career.
Is lethal. Yeah, exactly.
It definitely
mid-range extends your career. This in general extends
crazy,
your career.
Right? It's such a dying shot. But go ahead, Eastwood.
Exactly.
I know you want to say something real quick.
Yeah, Harden's just been so like lethal off the dribble his whole career that it was like it was either
never needed it.
It was either a three or I'm throwing a lob or I'm getting all the way to the rim. And people say he never relied on athleticism. I wouldn't say he relied on athleticism, but
he needed it though.
Those Houston days, he was blowing by people and dunking on people. He was He was.
See, people think athleticism is just jumping high. Like it's more than that.
He was so quick with the ball, it was completely unguardable. And just from last season and what I've seen in the preseason now, I think he's back to like form that's gonna be good enough to get it done. But I don't think you're ever gonna see that level that he was at in Houston. It was just unreal. It was unreal.
I'm good with 20 and 10.
Me too. And guess what? Like, it's how you get that 20, right? It's not because I've seen guys get quiet 30s. You know what I mean? Nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like it's how you get that 20, the timely buckets. You know what I'm saying? The go ahead buckets. Like I said, like it's certain guys that you got to get them going, and some guys that's always going to be able to get to their shot. Harden is always going to be able to get to his shot. I think it's going to be so important for this team to feed the big first, then feed Maxey, and then Harden gonna get his. He gonna get his no matter what.
I think that's very possible. I hope Doc Rivers is on that same page because I'm unsure yet where Doc's going with the pecking order. He told James in that practice that he was mic'd up. He said it's not a democracy, it's a pecking order.
Yeah,
it's
I wanted
Joel,
to ask you about that.
And then it's you. He said it's Joel and then it's you. He actually said too, the only people I want to go get it are you and Joel. And I was like,
what the fuck? No, man.
But then there was another clip of him telling Maxey, like, you need to bring the ball up and call your own play and do your thing. So I don't know. Maybe he was just saying what he knew sounded good on ESPN or whatever, or NBA TV. Who knows?
It definitely matters how he get those stats too, because I'm starting to become really against stats. Because stats, like I just saw a stat earlier that had like Westbrook looking like a top 5 player of all time because of like how much he stat pads, and because when you look at Harden's numbers last year, what was he, 22, 10 and something? He had
I think he was 21, 9, and 10. 21, 9, and 10. I think he was
exactly. But when you look at the games, it's definitely how you get it, because if he's 20 and 10, is he getting 15 points in the first half and then 5 in the second? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's definitely like how you get those points. So I'm not just looking at a stat line for James here, because we know he's going to find a way to put get some numbers. He's going to get to the line. He's going to find a way to get some numbers. I'm really looking at how he affects the game more than anything.
Yeah,
so
there we go.
If he's only 15, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because he's giving us so much more in other places, I'll take that. But it's like, you know, I don't need an empty 22 stat line again, because that's what I feel like he gave us last year. It's nice to see 22 points at the end of the game, but how did you really affect us, and did we win the game too?
Yeah, not all 25 bricks.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Exactly. So it's definitely how you get it.
His efficiency was down too. You know, once he got to Philly, like his efficiency was down. Like he was only shooting 40% from the field when, you know, instead his first year in Brooklyn, you know, prior to the hamstring, you know, he was shooting 47% from the field, you know, through 35 games. So it's like, I'm not expecting James never shot 50% from the field. Like, I don't expect that. He a guard, you know, he's going to take more shots than he probably will make. But, you know, when you're a guard like that, you know, if you're flirting around 45%, I can live with that. You know what I'm saying? Because you're taking threes, you're doing all kind of freak shit. But, you know, I just want Harden to understand that you got these young guys around you. Use them. You know what I'm saying? It's an 82-game season. Coast. Do what you got to do. Make the right basketball play. Get your timely buckets. You're at a point in your career where it's not about the personal stats. It's about winning. You know what I'm saying? It's about winning. Like, let Maxey be the one to, you know, let him be the one to probably, you know, push the ball most of the time, and just like, I'm telling you, got to ride these young legs, man. You got to let Maxey. Like, it's going to be so important.
When we say with defer, I'm sorry, Tom.
No, you good, my man. You good.
What you're saying. So when we talk about deferring to Maxey, are we literally saying switch positions, like let Maxey run point guard? And
no. I want Harden to be the point guard. I just
want ball.
I just, you know, I just don't want Harden to feel like he got to push the ball, isolate, you know, create. Like, I want him. First of all, I want us to actually have an offense that we run. You know what I'm saying? But I just don't want Harden to feel like he has to be the one to score all the points, you know, from the perimeter.
Got it. Yeah.
I think Maxey's gonna be there. And I hope he understands it too. You know, Tobias seems like he's starting to understand where he stands. You know, so maybe Harden can understand too. It's tough when you were the man for 9 straight years in Houston, and now you gotta think about other things before you go shoot the ball. But I do think he's getting more elevation on his shot. That was one thing last season for sure that I think affected his shot. All of his shots were short off the front of the rim, side of the rim, and he really looked like he was shooting a set shot. He wasn't jumping and really releasing it at the top of his jump. I think he looks like he's a little bouncier this season. So, you know, I'm looking for, and I think it showed so far in 2 preseason games. He's shooting, 50% from 3, I believe. And that's really all we need. We just need somebody that can, you know, when they're triple teaming Joel Embiid, man, we need somebody on the outside that can get something done. So,
what you guys expected from Tobias? You know what I'm saying? I know we ain't really touch on Tobias, but, you know, he's another guy. Like, it's so crazy how we spent like 45 minutes talking about 3 guys, right? But you forget we got Tobias right there too. And
180.
You know, I'm just curious. I'm curious what should we expect out of him at this point? You know, Tobias is entering year 8?
Should be around 10. Should be he getting there.
10, something like that. Like he's
getting up there.
You know,
I think. Go ahead.
No. I wasn't about to say nothing. Go ahead.
I was just about to say, I think all of the pressure is off of Tobias at this point. So he should have one of the best seasons for this team to date, because it's like no pressure, and we're not even calling for your job anymore. You're not number 3, you're not number 2, bro. You're 4th option. Just go out there and get stuff done. You just can't be dead weight. You can't just be out there giving us cardio. If
you know what I want from him, I want him like, when you got the mismatch, go.
That's what I'm saying. Go. Exactly.
Like
there's no pressure at this point. Just do you.
Keep looking to pass.
Yeah.
You know what I want from him?
Go ahead.
Like, outside of all that, I do think he got to be aggressive, when he needs to be. I want him to be like our Robert Horry, like big shot Tobias. Like, he's going to be open.
That's just, that's true. He can be open the most out of everybody. I think Tobias he can be the most open.
You gotta hit him when it matters. Yeah. If he can develop that type of role, like Robert Horry literally was the same size. He was a stretch 4. He shot that thing from deep. And when you needed him to shoot it, he was available. He had it. He made it. You just got to channel in. I think we need him to be that type of player for us, man. Play some defense.
I hope Tobias not really that good at the spot of 3, though, is he?
He got better at it. He got better at
it last season, yeah.
Yeah, he definitely did. Because he accepted it at that point.
If he's even better this season, then that's his role, in my opinion.
I think definitely we should look. I think definitely we should look forward to that, because I think this was the first off season. Because last year with the James Harden trade, it was like, okay, now I have to be this real fast. Now he had a full off season to be like, this is the only thing I need to work on. And he's already been shooting the ball quicker in these couple of preseason games, and really that's exactly his role now. And he had to understand his role. He said he was quoted as saying, "I had to check my own ego." And some people that I collab with were saying last year that Tobias Harris thinks he's like a major part of this team. He thinks he's a star, and that was a problem. And now
threes.
The money.
I don't know about that. Somebody said he should make 8 threes, shoot 8 threes a game.
He said he checked his own ego, and he really just man. All you gotta do is hang out on the perimeter and catch and shoot, catch and shoot, catch and shoot, catch and shoot.
Yo, a more decisive.
How many are Tobias making if he shoot 8 threes a night?
If he shoot 8, he probably making 3, 4.
That's good.
3 for 8.
You know what I'm saying? But like, look, a more decisive Tobias Harris is a dangerous Tobias Harris. Whenever if listen, this you can literally book it. If Tobias Harris dribble more than 2 times, he's not making the shot.
You know what? And it takes 20 seconds off the shot clock too, because he's about to back somebody down. Oh man, it's so bad. When him and Al Horford were both on this team, I wanted to. I couldn't watch it anymore,
bro.
I couldn't watch it anymore.
Like, anybody else surprised by all the players we was able to keep? Like, who's gone? Danny Green, and like that's it. Like everybody else is back.
They was getting chump change, so we, what I'm saying, we did something right.
Yo, you know who I'm excited to see for real? I'm really excited to see. Like, I'm really excited to see.
How did we keep all these players? Who's gone?
I'm excited to see Matisse Thybulle, because I heard he really been working this 3-point shot.
Didn't he have a couple of nice ones yesterday?
He hit 3 yesterday.
Yeah.
But the first 2 were really bad. The first one was within the first minute of the game, he was wide open from 3 and airballed it. And I was like, "Oh my God, bro. This is and then the second one was kind of off the side of the rim, and I was like, "Oh man, this ain't good."
He made one though, right?
And then he hit 3 in a row. And the third one, the first one he hit yesterday was like heavily covered in the corner with the shot clock running down. So I'm like, all right, you're airballing wide open, but you can hit with a hand in your face and basically being pushed out of bounds. So I think honestly, when he's wide open, he thinks about it too much. And when he
regressed as a shooter too. Like if you look at his numbers, his rookie season he was shooting 35%. Then he dropped drastically to 30% in 2020. Then 2021, it was 31%. His shooting's been down. Like he regressed as a shooter. And I just feel like, the less he has to think, the better. You know what I'm saying? Like, get him his shot and just.
Well, for one, I don't even think he's going to get as many minutes this season as he did last year.
Thank God. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, bro. He a cornerback playing basketball or something like.
It's like a couple of new guys definitely gonna get those.
Melton's gonna take that.
Yeah.
And it's like last year, what we needed him to do, he didn't even do it well. His defense didn't look as good as it used to.
Yo, you know the good thing about Melton? Like when I was watching some of these highlights, Melton, like he could dribble, he can get to the rim, he fast too, he quick.
He get up under you on defense.
Yeah. My man Superhero, love you Superhero, by the way. He's in the chat right now. He always shows support. He was on Twitter yesterday and he said he can't stand DeAnthony Melton. And I was like, what the hell did DeAnthony Melton do? And then when he first came in the chat, he said he's a shot chucker and I can't stand shot chuckers. And I was like, I mean, he's definitely a shot chucker, you know, but that's really what he's been, you know, come off the bench and, you know,
spark plug.
Yeah,
that's what the league is made of. A bunch of them now.
Yeah, I just think you're either going to be on
not a bad point.
Those type of players off the bench, they're either going to be on or they're going to be ice cold. You know, J.R. Smith one day was 10 for 10, is shooting the ball from half court, and then all of a sudden couldn't make a single shot. That was actually how I played my whole life. I was either Steph Curry in his prime, or I was so bad I needed to just go home and try again the next day. Yeah, there was no in between.
Like this team is. I'm telling you, this team is going to be so much more dangerous, so much more potent offensively if guys fully accept their role and they're decisive. Don't hesitate. Another guy who, in my opinion, his game took a hit because he hesitated too much, he wasn't decisive, is Shake Milton. He's somebody that's just not, wasn't. I don't know what it's going to translate to this year, but last year he was not decisive. My thing is, like, you a hooper. If you a hooper, go hoop. Like, if you got the lane, take it. Like, just be decisive, be a threat. You know what I'm saying? Like, you look at teams like Golden State, those guys play decisive. You know what I'm saying? They know their game, they know what they could do, and they know, and they constantly move the ball, and those guys are always moving around. You know what I'm saying? Like, even the Memphis Grizzlies, those guys are decisive. Like, they know what they can do, they know they role, and they accept it. The Sixers, they was in the transitional phase last year. Like, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm surprised they went as far as they did because of all the turnover and just like all the mental stuff that came with the Ben Simmons situation. But I think this year they have an opportunity because of what happened in Boston. They have an opportunity. So, man, I want these guys to play hungry, play decisive. I don't want guys hesitating. If you got the mismatch, take it. Like y'all get paid. Y'all hoopers for real. Act like.
Well, the good thing about everything you're saying, Tom, is that I'm still looking at the roster right now, and bro, all these guys are ballers. I'm looking at the roster. I'm just getting excited looking at, because I'm like, none of these guys, like, you know how you can look at, like, he's not. All these guys can play ball, bro.
And they got an edge, right?
They got an edge.
They all play with an edge.
Like, exactly. And for what you're saying, like being scared and hesitating. These are not hesitated players. I mean, look at it. I mean, shake is shaky. I would give you that. But the rest of these guys are dogs, bro. Like, they want to prove. They're provers. That's what they do. They go out there and prove that they deserve to be out there, and that's what I like. That's what we filled our team with. I say the two shakiest people, with no pun intended, is probably Shake and Tobias Harris, who's known to dial it down at times when he needs to be the opposite. But the rest of these guys, I have faith in all of them, bro. Like, really, seriously.
Yeah, for the first time in a what I feel like is a lot of years, we have like basketball players on the team. Like, you know, growing up playing, you were just so, you know, people just play ball. They can shoot if they're not open. They can dribble. They can pass. Like most, obviously at a playground down the street level, that's not an NBA level. But for so many years, I watched this team. There's just one-dimensional players left and right. If they're either a three-point shooter that you do not want to see dribble a basketball at all. It started with me with Robert Covington how long ago, and Isaiah Cannon at the time when we were really tanking. These dudes.
I forgot about Isaiah Cannon.
I hated those two guys,
Eastwood.
bro. I hated those two guys so much because they were either giving you 30 or they were dribbling the ball off the side of their foot.
Didn't Covington get better when he left though?
No.
Oh, it was better system for him.
No.
Better system. You think it is? You think it's that? I think it's a system.
Yeah.
I hated those. Like, okay, he can do that, but if that's not there, he's awful at everything else. You know, and we've had so many players like that for a couple of years, and now I'm watching Daniel House. This dude's like, you know, last night he like had a couple times where shot clock was running down, play broke down, and he made like a nice move to the basket and finished at the rim. I'm like, we got guys that can like play ball and have multiple skills.
That's what I'm saying. They're ballers. They're all ballers, bro.
That's a real good point, Eastwood. Like, you got guys on this team that actually like are creative. Like they they know how to put the ball in the cup. You dig what I'm saying? Like guys, they're not just gonna be all frozen and you know what I'm saying?
That's it. Goes back to what the guy said yesterday. He said like this team has a lot of players that can put the ball in, like a lot of shot creators. Like they know how to create their own shot. Not shot creating, but create their own shot. They know how to score the way they need to and put the ball in there.
We had too many guys on this team that was reliant on somebody creating.
Exactly. There we go. That's the point. That's the main point. We don't have that team no more. These guys can get it done. Like, and I think that's why if you look at these preseasons, the thing that I'm impressed about is that once the starters sit down, these guys are not giving the game up. They're still playing. Like they're playing their ass off, bro. They're making it happen, bro. They're making me extremely proud out there, bro.
I love it, man.
I even feel like I don't know if it was this game. Was it? Yeah, I think it was the last game we had against with the Cavs twice. I think it was the last one. It was like when the starters sit down, it seemed like they got better. Like the team got better when the starters went out. Like what the this is crazy, bro. Like. They're definitely like we're on a different type of level this time this year, man. I really think so.
Man, so like what's your prediction on what do y'all think? How can I word this?
I kind of know what you're gonna say. Go ahead.
What you think I'm gonna say, Eastwood?
What's your prediction? What if this team stays healthy, how far can they go? Can they win a championship?
Yeah.
To the top. To the top. Jay, tell him what I said, Jay.
You say?
I'll give my answer last.
My man been saying all the way. He been saying all the way for a minute.
Who?
Yeah, I gotta give it to him. Dub been saying all the way all summer, and he think it's partially due basketball analysis, it's also due superstition.
That's funny. But all right, look, let's really think about it though. Let's really think about how everything panned out last year, right? All right, so the top teams in the league are from a roster perspective, because we know Boston got to figure out their coaching situation, but from a roster perspective, you got Boston, you got Miami, you got Milwaukee. Every other roster, and Brooklyn. Every other roster, I'm gonna be honest with you, like, I know Cleveland made that trade for Donovan Mitchell. I don't think they're going to be that much better.
It hasn't looked that much more impactful. At least, we're judging it off of preseason, but I didn't see really anything amazing from Donovan Mitchell in 2 preseason games that said like he was worth 5 first-round draft picks or whatever they gave up for him.
Bro, they traded for
especially last night.
Yeah,
he's a guard, bro. Like I probably wouldn't mind if he was probably 6'7", 6'8", but he's a guard, and Donovan Mitchell. I love Donovan Mitchell, by the way. I love his game. But he's one of the more inefficient. He's one of the most inefficient guards in the league right now. Like he's not efficient at all.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But like back to what I was saying, like all right, let's think about the top teams. All right, well, we all consider Miami Heat a top team in the East.
Are we talking top 5
for kosher? I think we got to, especially.
Are we talking top 5?
Benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's think about it like the Final Four. Let's think about from that perspective. Like, who's the Final Four in the East when it comes to you?
As we speak,
Philly, Boston, Milwaukee. Yeah.
Gotta go Brooklyn.
You gotta put Brooklyn in there because of who they have, right?
I'm not putting Brooklyn
this
in
year.
Eastwood.
I'm with him. I'm with him. Why do it?
They're not
I'm
good.
tired of that team making it off their goddamn names, bro. They got bounced. They got bounced with a sweep.
You know what's gonna happen for?
Kyrie playing all year, right?
Steve Nash.
I mean, that's a fact. I get it. You're right.
Steve Nash.
That is a big difference maker. Kyrie playing all year and not taking random 3-week breaks changes the dynamic.
That's true. But I think that, you know what, you might be onto something. Well, I think Nash holds them back because you saw his coaching. You saw the flaws in his coaching ability. Like, you saw that he didn't deserve to be the head coach in the playoffs last year. He could not adjust. He didn't know what to do. He just didn't.
That's why KD wanted him gone, but I ain't gonna.
Nash literally.
KD the one that got him the job. That's the sad part.
And KD knew what he was doing when he asked for him to leave. Everybody thinking like that was some type of bitter request. No, I think KD know what's up. He know that man can't coach.
I don't like that because they wanted him there. Like am I saying like they wanted?
I think they.
But this is why players should be making. This is one thing I love about all this backlash from these player decisions is that they shouldn't be making the decisions in the first place. The same thing with LeBron asking Westbrook to come. Yep. Stop letting these players control these organizations. They're going off of on-field vision. They're going off of their own egos and minds. They're not really thinking all the way there. They think they're doing what works, but
everything that happened,
they don't really know.
Everything that happened with Ben and then Kyrie and Durant both requesting trades or whatever, and like all that. Durant trying to leave before his 4-year contract even kicked in Brooklyn. Like this next CPA is going to be there's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot of things in There's going to be a lot of things in contracts that are like must play this many games. If you request a trade before this even starts, this happens. Like there's going to be a lot of things to try to prevent it.
Stop trying to hire your friends. Stop trying to hire all your damn friends. It's not a good look.
The NBA going to start to take a page out of the NFL book. They're going to be like, y'all motherfuckers are getting guaranteed contracts.
No, but I think the Brooklyn Nets have a big issue, and it's the issue that we had with this player, but it's even amplified more. Their biggest issue right now is Ben Simmons, but their biggest issue is Ben Simmons because their starting center is Nicholas Claxton. And he doesn't shoot the ball.
He's short as hell.
So I got bad news for you. You got two non-shooters on the floor. Joel Embiid shot threes to try to accommodate the fact that Ben Simmons wouldn't shoot the ball. You got two non-shooters on the floor. That's a disaster in today's NBA. And there's already rumors of them trying to maybe trade to get a stretch 5. So you're already trying. There's already rumors, and it's in the air that they might be trying to change the roster already to try to accommodate this dude that won't shoot the damn ball. It's crazy.
And it's not worth it.
That's a good point, man. I feel like Ben Simmons, the way he plays, right, it's gonna affect that team. In the worst moment that they don't want it to affect them in. Watch. It's going to affect them in such a key situation. Somehow, some way, the clock gonna be running down and the ball gonna be in his hands.
He's gonna pass up another layup. That's what's gonna happen.
I think
but they don't realize in Brooklyn, his mentality, the way it rubs off. Like players are gonna try to overcompensate for what he's not providing, and then we all know what that looks like.
I think at number 4, I'm between Miami and Chicago because I think Chicago without Lonzo last season didn't live up to the hype that they had with signing what's his name,
DeMar
DeRozan, yeah, and having Zach LaVine and having potentially 3 All-Stars. In Vucevic.
Well, Lonzo,
Vucevic I don't know if he got traded.
His knee. They said Lonzo. They said his knee. They said there's no time till before his return. Like that knee is infected. I think they said his knee got infected or something like that, or it regressed.
I did see that a couple weeks ago. That he might actually not even come back this season.
It's bad, man. I feel bad
because I think he's one of those players that was definitely overhyped coming into the draft or coming into the NBA, and then once everyone realized Lonzo Ball is just a really traditional style facilitating point guard who can play defense, he's not going to do anything that's going to blow your mind. But he's a really good point guard.
Though.
Yeah, I don't. That's what it was.
The Lakers over.
He was
always supposed to be.
The Lakers overhyped the hell out of him when they drafted him.
I get what you're saying though, Eastwood, for sure.
That was magic. Don't take all my awards and my Raptors and man, come on, bro. He hyped that whole shit up.
Magic was fooling.
Magic was he might be one of the worst GMs ever, to be honest. Like I don't know what it is about basketball players.
What's the meme, bro? Like what's the meme? How the meme go?
Bro.
He said, I don't think I'm gonna be here.
Like when these all-time greats step into other roles, Phil Jackson, Michael Jordan. Like I don't know, they just only know how to play ball.
Larry Bird, the Pacers.
Larry Bird, yeah, man, they suck when they get to other
Isaiah Thomas.
Isaiah Thomas.
Look, see, now you make it. Now y'all just writing the list for me. Exactly, man. Like they just he was bad, man.
Yeah, really, just because you were really good at a game doesn't mean you're like a mastermind when it comes to like the X's and O's of a game.
And that's why they shouldn't be letting LeBron's and KD's running the team while they're literally still on the fucking team. Like, no, like don't let them do it. Like
their mess up is something different. Like LeBron with the Westbrook shit, that was on some friendship. Like I think LeBron would be a great GM outside of that.
I think LeBron would be a great coach. Maybe GM. No. He knows the game.
No coach.
You don't think so? Okay.
I think LeBron used to.
Real quick.
LeBron used to
Lonzo Ball can't even run.
He can't run.
He can't run, bro.
All right, so then Miami's my number 4, I guess.
What about the Hawks? That's the number 14.
Yeah, actually, I didn't think about the Hawks. I was wondering who I'm missing.
Deontay Murray.
They look good together too.
Yeah.
And
we already know what Trae Young is. That man literally comes back and get better every season.
Yeah, my question with them was, how's that going to work? 2 point guards on the floor at the same time or whatever. And I think they're really just in what I've seen in the preseason so far, they seem to be building some type of chemistry. They had a game where they both dropped like 25 and 10. So,
damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotta watch out for them.
Definitely. No, yeah, like what's so funny about the Atlanta Hawks? They're not going to win it all. But that's the kind of team you don't want to play in the first.
You out.
That's the kind of team that you don't want to play in the first round. You know what I'm saying? Like you just don't want you don't want to like it's certain teams that's going to push you to the edge that you don't want to run into. You know what I'm saying? Like Atlanta is that kind of team you don't want to play them in the first round.
Heat.
You definitely don't want to play the Heat in the first round. But yeah, they're building something in Atlanta, but it's something that they're missing. I think they're missing a dominant wing. Like
a big some sort of big man, not a big man per se. But I get what you're saying. Yeah, I get what you mean.
Because you're not winning the championship with just 2 ball dominant guards. In my opinion, you're not.
And they're short too. 2 short guards on top of it.
True.
Yeah, and for all, like Deontay Murray, he been going crazy in the offseason, bouncing balls off people's heads and shit. Like he been drawn.
Really?
Didn't he have beef with a rookie? Didn't he have beef with someone that was just drafted?
Poncho.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Banchero, right?
Banchero.
Paolo Banchero, yeah.
I could put the Hawks at number 4, but I'm just not putting Brooklyn in there because I don't think they're good.
I feel you.
They gotta earn it. Let's put it that way. Let's see what they look like after like the first 20 games.
Yeah, no more of this. Chris Broussard on ESPN last year called them hypothetically the best team of all time.
That's hilarious.
What does that mean, bro? That means
said hypothetically.
Yeah. Everybody's hypothetically the best team of all time
on the roster, and I'm not mad at it because names do matter, and when you put certain names on a paper together, it's going to make some noise. But it's also got to be a proving ground too. And to me, they have not proved to be elite as we have built them up to be. They have not been elite yet. And I know the first season they had some excuses on their plate, but I mean, we got to see some results.
The best, most unstoppable team of all time was the 2017 Golden State Warriors with adding Kevin Durant to the best regular season team of all time. It wasn't even fair. It wasn't even, it killed the NBA's ratings. Nobody even cared to watch it. They're like, well, we know who's winning this.
And on top of it, was right. And that's just the thing too. It's been teams that throughout history who got in that type of rap, but then something happened through the season. You're like, okay, they actually not ended up being as good as we thought. But that team that you're talking about, they were absolutely everything everybody thought they were. They were the best team ever who added the best player.
Yeah.
And they dominated for 3 years in a row. Like,
they had the best regular season record ever, but you could
argue.
You could argue 96 Bulls.
I know he about to.
You could say 96 Bulls. You could say maybe 2001 Lakers. There's some teams you could definitely throw in there. But I think they were overpowered because of the 3-point shooting. It wasn't fair. There's nothing you can do about it.
It wasn't fair at all, man.
Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson.
You can't. None of those teams can beat that team. I'm sorry. They're the best. That's the best team ever. That's the best team in the.
The only reason they didn't win again is because they broke down and
they broke down at the end. Exactly.
The injuries,
everybody was gone,
and they would have smacked Toronto if they was healthy.
Their bench when they were that good, they had Leandro Barbosa, they had Sean Livingston, they were so deep. They had a starting 5 coming off their bench.
They had Leandro Barbosa, somebody who don't get talked about enough in the NBA. Leandro Barbosa, he was a bucket. He was a bucket.
Man, he was crazy in Phoenix.
They had Barbosa. Remember they had David West?
Ooh, big fella.
Listen, David West was nice on the Pacers. He was that bull on the Pacers.
He was nice in New Orleans.
Yeah.
MSCP. Yeah.
I remember West.
Yeah, a player that in my opinion don't get enough love, he don't play no more obviously, but Al Jefferson was that bull.
Al Jefferson was a dog.
Al Jefferson was that dude.
He was a dog.
Those are like good. He's a good glue guy. Those are like good guys that just always going to give you what it's You get used to them almost. I think that's why nobody talk about them, because you almost get used to their production. Like you know they're going to produce the same way every game.
And they're never going to have a SportsCenter top 10 highlight. They'll just give you they'll give you 25 and 12. You know, with the most old man hardly jumping off the floor type of game.
Listen, let me tell you this stretch by Al Jefferson real quick. Let me tell you this stretch. You know, he really didn't settle into his third season, right, in the NBA. But like, listen to this. 16 points per game, 21 points per game, 23 points per game, 17 points per game, 18 points per game, 19 points per game, 18 points per game, 22 points per game, 16 points per game. Like he was so steady for so long, bro.
And what his career average out to?
His career average, see, the thing is though, he bottomed out at the end of his final 2 years, and then so his first 2 seasons only averaged 7 points per game in the rookie year, and the following year he averaged 8, and then the last 2 seasons only averaged 8 and 7. So
it's gonna pour him down.
So he bottomed out a little bit, but he averaged 15.7 for his career, which is good. Like, listen. If I retire and not anybody that was able to average 10 points or more in the NBA, you are the man. I don't care what nobody says.
And if you play over like 10 seasons,
you play over 10 seasons, you average 10 points per game in the NBA.
That's legit.
You got my respect. I don't care. I'm sorry.
All right, so before we get up out of here, for you guys and in the chat, I want you to answer this too. Name a player that you saw a good amount of last season on the Sixers that you don't want to see anymore on the court.
He gone.
That's still on the roster. That's still on the roster that you would rather
that's still on the
not.
roster, because I was gonna say Danny Green, but
it's too easy. Somebody that we've seen enough of.
That's too easy.
I think. Are you still talking about Tobias? Who are you talking about, Eastwood? You talking about Tobias?
No, a player that I think you're not going to see and you shouldn't see that's still on the roster.
You shouldn't see.
Yeah.
Hold on, wait. I want to make sure I'm understanding the question correctly. Can you say it one more time, bro?
Who's a player that got decent minutes last season,
right?
That is still on the roster that you feel like you shouldn't see on the court anymore?
Matisse Thybulle, easily.
No. I wasn't even thinking Matisse though. That's a
no. I know he's thinking. He's thinking Furkan Korkmaz. That's what he's thinking.
Yeah, it's Korkmaz.
Korkmaz didn't get no minutes last year for real.
Yes, he did.
He got way too many minutes.
Towards the end, he felt like
he felt towards the end. He fell off a little bit.
Yeah, because Doc finally had to stop playing him. He was shooting 17% from 3 for 3 straight months.
Damn. I never should have piped them up. In the preseason, I was like, oh man.
And that's what I'm about to say. Yeah,
he was cooking in the international tournaments though. I'm mad. Like, he was cooking.
He won a dunk contest in Turkey. That explains how much different the NBA is. YouTube that. I swear to God.
That cannot be a true fact.
It's true. He had a Superman cape on or a Batman cape. He did a basic reverse dunk that I've seen a 12-year-old do down the street in America. I swear to God. Bro, how little athleticism is in your country that Furkan Korkmaz won a dunk contest.
You know who I want to, like, it's probably a long shot, but you know who I want to kind of elevate the game a little bit? Or matter of fact, not even that. Like, you know who I sneaky like on his roster? Georges Niang. Like, I like Niang, bro.
I like him in spurts. Wait, yeah, it ended up last season.
Jay, we lost your audio. We can't hear you. Probably muted this. It's probably muted this song.
Niang last season, it just we lacked a bench so much that we ended up relying on him too much, and then his deficiencies come out. His lack of athleticism and defense, and our transition D was so bad because he was, one of the main players off the bench.
He's so fucking flat-footed.
So flat-footed, man. He looks like he puts dents in the court when he runs.
Yo, he used to make these weird buckets. I'm like, yo, how he get that, bro?
He just remember he commented on the post back. He's mad. We said he played like Adam Sandler.
Yeah, I forgot y'all said that shit.
Did we lose Jay? What happened, Jay? We lose you? Oh yeah,
we lost audio on you, Jeff. I said Jeff. Jay.
We lost Jay. Jay went silent.
Oh man.
But anyway, we'll drop the outro. It wasn't bad timing on the mute there, Jay. We'll drop the outro. Yeah, man. Hey, listen, 4-point play. Thank you guys for coming up here, man. It's always a good time. It's always fun. We always lose track of time when you guys are up here because we could just sit around and talk ball for hours.
Yeah, when the season start, I could definitely make time to do it once a week for sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we definitely want to get that done. Anybody else got?
That'd be a fun show.
Anybody else got anything you want to throw out there?
And thanks for having us.
Definitely.
It was a long off season, but we're back. And I'm saying it on here, like I said it on my podcast. I believe we're going to win the chip this year. It's our 40-year anniversary from '83 championship. And I just feel like not the league is set up for it, but it just makes sense. It just feels right and it sounds right. And I'm gonna leave it at that.
Hey, listen, man. You know, we going for the triple crown. You know what I mean?
If we win,
the Phillies going it all.
We got to make sure we got the parade together, fellas. That's all I'm gonna say.
Dog, if we win, listen, I don't care what championship we win. I'm trying to be there with everybody. Like I'm like, yo, like whatever happens. Like taking my motherfucking shirt off, going crazy, like dog. But yeah, man, like Dub said, thanks for having us. East Wood, you already know how we get down, man.
Absolutely,
man. So much good sports. So many good sports topics to talk about. So much good football, basketball, baseball being played by the city right now, man. We need the Flyers to catch up. But nonetheless.
I had one thing to say before.
There we go.
Jay's back.
I got him working. I had one more thing to say before we go, and I had to make this public because I my shame was public, so my apology has to be public.
Oh man.
I have to apologize to Jalen Hurts.
Really?
Last time we talked about him, I said he wasn't gonna be.
Yo, why you? Yo, why Dub just do that? Yo, why he playing, bro?
Because he's had to hear it the most from me on our pod. I say it all the time. I was like, he's not that guy. He's not going to get it done. And I just gotta say, I'm amazed by what this kid is doing this season, man. Everything I say he wasn't going to be able to prove in, he somehow has approved in. And I just had to get that out there because the last time I put some dirt on his name and I say he wasn't elite. I mean, I still don't know if he's elite. I don't think he would put that out there.
Still a long way to go, elite, but I think
he's definitely playing a lot better than I thought he was going to play this season.
I think everybody, real quick, like I know everybody, at least me, like I knew he was going to get better, but my whole mindset was how much, like, will he get better quick enough for this organization to want to buy in, right? And right now he completing 67% of his passes. Last year he was only completing 61% of his passes. That's a huge jump. You know what I'm saying? He's top 10 in the league in passing yards. He upped his game. We just need the passing touchdowns to catch up, but that's going to come. You know what I'm saying? He's an unfinished product dude, only 24, and he already made this big jump. Imagine what he's going to be next season, or maybe we're only 5 games in. Like, this team ain't hit their stride for real.
That's true.
This team,
He fixed the things that I didn't think were fixable. I just thought he wasn't. I didn't think he threw a good NFL football. Like, it just looked weak coming out of. Not that he doesn't have the arm strength, because the dude's one of the strongest dudes in the NFL. It's just the way he threw the ball. I was like, man, I'm never gonna see this. Yeah. I'm never gonna see this arm lead a team to a Super Bowl. And then he comes out this year and like everything looks. I didn't think you could do it in one offseason, but his mechanics look different. The way he releases it. Everything looks different. I have a breakdown on his throwing mechanics on my channel, and like last year he was really. I
remember that was a good video.
He would really lean way back, and his hips were way out there to try to get the ball up, and now it looks more controlled, and it looks more like he's just flinging it. And yeah, I got to give him credit, man. He did things in one offseason I didn't think he could do either. And his confidence to let it fly downfield has been there so far this season too, versus before. The last couple games, not so much. People are mad at the play calling from last week because it was a lot of screen left, screen right, right.
Yeah, it was, and it was like weird because it was like he wasn't even playing. They wasn't even playing like that in the rain just a week ago.
Right.
Yeah, they ran a lot in the rain. Yeah, but like I think in the Arizona game in particular, Arizona, they have very unique blitz packages. Like, they blitz very uniquely, and then on top of that, you had 3 offensive linemen go in and out the game. It was a rough game in terms of like the offensive line, just from an injury perspective. But I give credit for him weathering the storm, man. Just to put it in perspective, he completed 72% of his passes in that game. So I mean,
that might have been the best. That might have been the best defense he's seen so far. And now Sunday night.
You know what? I'd probably say Eastwood. That's a good point. I'd probably say the most complex.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because I feel like the Jags, their defense was pretty good, But from a run defense perspective, but I think you're right. The Arizona defense probably is the best defense he's faced. So far, the Vikings probably had the best pass rush, and then we played the Cowboys this Sunday. So that's probably gonna be the best defense he play all season, probably.
Yes, I think that's our true test, to be honest.
I'll be honest with you. Oh yeah, let me ask you that real quick before we get out of here. Like I know it's turned into an Eagles thing. Like y'all know all of my Eagles and shit. But I gotta ask y'all a quick question, and then we can get out of here. Like, if he beat this Cowboys team, does that elevate him in your eyes? Because this Cowboys defense is for real.
Hell yeah.
If he and I'm be honest, I don't care what quarterback is out there for them. I don't, because
I'm worried about Michael Parsons. That's what I'm worried about.
That's what I'm saying. So like, do you like if he beat this team on another primetime game? Remember, he cooked the Minnesota Vikings at primetime Monday night. That was his coming out party. 83% passing completion percentage. So if another primetime game, if he show out in primetime again. Is it time to really start like, yo, this dude probably could really take it far?
I think so, because as good as he's been playing, the only real thing people had to say left was, well, look who, none of these teams were good. Yeah. So the Cowboys is definitely a true test, and if he passes that test, then there's no reason to say that he can't beat anybody. Especially looking at what he looked like against the Cowboys last season was not good.
Yeah, and his press conferences, like, I love the way he discusses like the games, because he's not impressed by anything he does, and I like that in my quarterback. Like after that Cardinals game, that was probably that press conference to me was so different than any of his other ones. He looked really upset with how he responded in that game. Like, to us, he completed 72% of his passes. He did what he could, but he looked like somebody that I didn't really execute the way I wanted to.
Yeah, I know for a fact.
He had that look in his eyes. Even his voice didn't even sound the same. He sounded really like, I fucked that money up, and I know it.
What did he say? He said something along those lines, like, what you're saying, like he was upset about something. He was like,
he said, I don't like hearing 5-0. I don't like hearing it.
There you go. He's like, I don't like hearing it.
Hearing 5-0.
I loved it.
I loved every minute of it, bro. It might be propaganda. Like, he might have knew we would like to hear that, but I don't even care.
I don't believe it. He not fake. What is that? Like, he's not
fake. He's not a fake guy. I don't get that from him.
You're not sometimes a fake tough or like fake leader. You know what I'm saying? Like, no,
right. Just saying what sounds good. I understand, but whether it was or not, I'm just saying I love to hear it, because either way, that's the perception you want to give out. And I like that that's what he wants people to know about him, that he's that guy that's really focused on how and we winning, and not, just get caught up in record stats and all that stuff. He's really about winning these games to getting us a championship. So, the guys, I don't know what else to say about him. I already came down on him. I'm changing my tune now, and I'm on the board. I'm on board.
Cowboys. I got a feeling, yo. I got this weird feeling.
I think this is going to be one of the biggest Eagles games in a long time, especially between the Cowboys. The Cowboys and Eagles rivalry thing, honestly, it hasn't really been that impressive since, I would say, probably when Dak and Wentz first got there. I haven't really been that impressed with our rivalry, but this is... Go ahead.
Well, no, you know what the problem was? Both teams haven't been really good at the same time. It's always been one team was really good and one team is really bad, and vice versa. I think the Cowboys are 4-1. They got a real defense now.
Yeah,
like this.
They haven't lost since week 1, which kind of gives them kind of the same attitude as us, because it's like, all right, we lost week 1. That was a fluke, and now we So I kind of look at them as good as us at this point, as far as the record goes. Like that one loss, like what do that mean? To us too, because I look at it this way: come that game, we're going to have the same match record as them or not. So this game matters a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because after this game, we lose, we have the same record as them. So to me, we're even. And this is the time to really prove who we are.
Exactly. Good point.
I like that.
For sure, guys. Hey, again, man, thank you guys for coming through.
No problem.
Hey, man, go Phils. Go Birds on Sunday. Go Sixers. Yeah, man. Until next time. 4-point play.